There's a restroom here. Please go that way. That way if you... ¿Qué pasó? Ay, Elizabeth.
Lorena Rodríguez.
Hola, Lorena, mucho gusto.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Me dijeron que sin corbata, güey?
Sí, me dijeron que es sin corbata. Por favor.
First time I've seen you in a tie.
Yeah, well,
You look very nice.
Hey, how are you?
It happens.
Nice to meet you. ¿Cómo está? Mucho gusto. Please, sit.
You keep serving.
I will. I will appreciate it. You're very cool. Yeah. It will be a better place for you.
Sure, there's a seat.
Please.
Kind of cold.
Kind of cold? Yeah, we will. Yeah, we're gonna bring it down. Yeah, somebody's in the restroom.
Bernardo got recycled tickets on.
Right, exactly.
I was just gonna ask you if these
Yeah,
are
I'm-
races. I think this is his leg, but I'm not really sure.
I'm bringing up the temperature, so we will be more comfortable.
I guess that qualifies as an email. I gotta send an email to the IFC on that one, right?
¿Quién falta alguien más?
Está en el baño nada más.
Sí. Okay. Oh. Alright. No. Alright, ¿falta alguien más?
Sí, aquí vamos a Bernardo.
Sí. Pasando para allá, va a ser más cómodo. Well, welcome. We will be waiting for your partner in the bathroom. You'll be out soon. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm
Perfect. One is enough.
Yeah, one is
Vanessa's
enough.
card is inside.
Oh,
Yeah, inside there's my card and we will go over it. Yeah.
Because Vanessa's is
Okay, thank you. Please, here. Okay. So, well, I'm glad you were able to make it here. Thank you, we're very excited to have you here. We will go over what is total PT. I just increased the temperature so you will be more comfortable in a few minutes,
hot.
I guess.
It's hot, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
Really hot.
Okay. So, any briefings,
Can do
production?
the introductions, who we are. Sure. So why don't we go around the table?
Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah, Lars from DG, that's a German development bank. And we are potential investors in the
Florian Calera was my colleague Elizabeth Work from OPM, which represents which is the Swiss Development Finance Institution, and we're responsible with the potential investment.
Philip Lucena from IFC. I'm working with colleagues here.
Lorena Rodríguez from IFC.
Bernardo Rico from IFC and the country head for Guatemala and El Salvador. And Philip is leading the transaction with my colleague from Guatemala.
Okay. Perfect. And Alex, I don't know Alex. Okay, so we will start very, very briefly. One thing that is important, very, very important for us is what we believe. And we want to share this with you so you understand why we are doing this and what moves us, really. What we believe is we have three basic core values that we started this company with. There's commitment, the first, when we commit to you as investors, or we commit to our club customer, or we commit to our employers and employees, there is 100% commitment. The second thing that we have is innovation. Everything in this company has been built on the basis that we must do something different, not stay on the same track. And the third value that we sponsor is excellence. We believe that life is too short to be doing good, average, or poor stuff. So we pursue for excellence, and that's something you will be seeing over and over in the company. The other thing that you will notice through the company is we are driving a change for the gender equality. So in our management team, female is 60% and male is 40%. There have been worse times where we have been 80% female and one male, but yeah. So we're changing it the other way. No, we are looking for equality.
I know this.
But this is the other way around, you know. But I'm used to that. I have 3 girls, my wife, and so I'm used to that. Okay. The other thing that we need to share with you is when people started in this country talking about corporate social responsibility and self-assessment of that in 2007, we were among the first companies to take that commitment and to move ahead with that. And the companies you see here is Atlas Electrica, now is Mave, Florida Bebidas, that is the Pepsi water, that is a customer of us, SC Johnson Wax, Grupo Nación, that is the local newspaper, the largest, and WPP Continental, Berrimar, and us. But that wasn't enough. We noticed that it was far from enough. So we start to look for an integral system that was able to really show what was the impact that we were having on society. So we commit to GIIRS. I don't know if you have heard about this. Somebody? Yeah? Okay, so we were one of the pioneer companies. We have signed with them for 3 years of evaluation. The first evaluation has just been completed. It's preliminary. By the end of this week, they will have some answers from our side on some points. And for people not familiar with this, what this is looking for is to let the funds know what is the actual impact that the investments are having in each of the countries that they operate. Okay? So we are well into that. Actually, the company is very excited because finally we have found a comprehensive tool. So everything that we do, okay, it's good, it's bad, but we know which track.
Is this driven by these guys out of California, the B-Ray? I see the logo, the B-Ray.
Yeah,
Yeah, B-Lab.
B-Lab's doing it.
Yeah, I know those.
Yeah,
guys,
we
right,
like.
yeah.
So the steps will be, they are not really ready to promote a B corporation through the world. So the first thing, it will be steps. It will take us 3 to 4 years to be there, but that's the aim.
Your friends at Sorona in Canada or?
Yeah, and CIF actually signed on to it.
Okay.
I mean, they're trying to get the DFIs to sign on to it. This is interesting because I know it's very cumbersome and time consuming to comply with this
Yeah.
question, the audit process. It's a lot of work.
You know, there is something very funny about us. Auditing is nothing for us. We are audited by Pepsi, by Coke, by the dairy mill, the dairy products company in Costa Rica is another customer. So it's very common for us. And in the process, in the project that you will be seeing, you will see some of the auditing process that it will underwent to. So it was very straightforward. Some of the terminology and some of the things we are still struggling with, but we're in a very good path. And they are very happy with us. We're very happy with them. So good. So that's our values. I will guide you through the history of what we are and what we're not. Okay, it's sometimes easier to say what we are not and more relevant than to say what we are. And I will share with you that we are not a multinational company with operations in 136 countries, but we are very proud Costa Rican company. We started in Costa Rica, particular country, very, very particular country, as you will see, for good and for bad. And we have had operations in Central America, and we have customers throughout Central America. We service Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, Panama, Costa Rica, and some parts of other places. We service very well the west coast of the United States because it was strategic for us, and we will see why. So it served a purpose in the past. And we also have had operations and services in the Caribbean. I will share with you here, well, it's obvious. Pepsi is one of our largest, Pepsi is one of our largest customers, and Coke as well, but they are not showing. Okay, but well, Pepsi and Coke are among our largest customers. We started really trying to get a, hey, what's up? Yeah, okay. That is something, internet connectivity. Somebody's working really hard on this. So, yeah, it happens. Most of our systems are in the cloud. So we are Google Docs for everything. We are Gmail. And so the other customer that we feel very close to is Pepsi. Actually, with Pepsi, we have done some very, very interesting things on the past, and he's a current customer of the majority of his products through Costa Rica. I don't know if you have seen this ad. This is Coke versus Pepsi, and it's a nice thing.
You serve both of them, no?
Yeah, we serve both.
Which is not common in
No, well, you know, it's getting more and more common every day nowadays.
In the preformed business, it is common to serve both.
But perform that means
But not-
the bottles.
But not in the box.
No, in the bottles
Because that's in a specific box.
but we are a company that is very much into consumer products, but in specialties, where the high market is so. So that's why we have to serve both. For example, we are the only manufacturers in Costa Rica for 6-liter water bottles for both companies. There's nowhere else you can go. We're not a close to 400 years old company. I didn't know how old was Silvian. Starting 1623, that's a long way. But we are very proud to just turn 10.
That's when Keith Richards first started playing, by the way.
So we are very happy with that. Another thing, here, things are never boring. We are always innovating and doing some difficult things. The first one was, we were the first on-site blowing operation for a Pepsi bottler and for a Coke bottler in Central America. Okay, so that means that we take our machines and our people, we go into their facility and produce the bottles there, okay? The other thing that we have done at the very early steps of the company is we set out to kill the high-density polyethylene water bottle and develop a 6-liter bottle that was among the first in the planet. Actually, there have been some developments in Europe. Then we came, then Mexico, and that was the goal. We're a company that don't believe in greenwashing, which is very, very typical in our industry. Everybody's trying to greenwash their operations and show something. But we believe that both main types of green should go together. That's another core structure of us that everybody has really, really in place. So before we proceed much farther ahead, the main project that we are sharing with you today is what we call RPET. I don't know if some of you are familiar with the term. It has been in the market in some countries. RPET is recycled PET, okay? And PET is the material that is used to make these bottles. So every water bottle, every soda pop bottle that you see in the market is made from PET. And we're going to talk about RPET. That is this, but recycled. RPET is very interesting because it's a registered trademark. If you go into some particular niches or markets, you will start to see people talking about RPET. And that is a brand that we have registered here in Central America. We have the formal registry in Costa Rica, and Guatemala, El Salvador, and the rest of the countries are already presented and will be sold, we hope, soon. About RPET is the regular PET molecule, same structure, it does just the same as PET, with a slight difference. We don't get it from oil. Actually, we produce the RPET from waste bottles. Bottles that were previously used by the consumer and now are on the waste stream. And we turn them into a new resin, which is what you have in there. In front of you is it's a preform. This is called a preform. This is what we use to make the bottles in a process that you will soon see. And inside that, we have our PET, that is the resin. Open it, just don't swallow it. Not because it's toxic, you can eat it, but it won't be tasty.
This is like fiber, right? You swallow this and
Yeah.
you
Well, yes.
That's
right.
Go for it.
That's innovation.
I prefer a cookie, you know.
You are very clever on that.
How about a salad, just a salad?
Okay?
That's another market.
Yeah, that's another market. Right?
That's
Haven't thought about
innovation,
that.
definitely.
Okay, strawberry. So I'm gonna share with you, yeah, I'm gonna share with you some things. Inside the folder, you have some important things. There is 2 brochures that we will go over after that, and there is visitor rules and regulations. So you don't have to read it. We have a small video that hopefully it will load in real time. And I will appreciate if you can sign me this there afterwards.
In order to make your visit as safe as possible, please observe the following rules and regulations. Confidentiality. We work with products and technologies that in some cases haven't been presented to the market or have been developed specifically for some of our customers. Any and all information acquired as a result of a facility visit should be considered confidential and proprietary in nature and may not be disclosed without the express written consent of a member of the total PET executive staff. As such, cameras, camcorders, cell phones, and other recording devices are prohibited in the warehouse, manufacturing and packaging areas, and the laboratories of Total PET. No pictures may be taken of any part of Total PET's facilities without the permission of a member of the Total PET's executive staff. Each member of our staff is responsible for information that may be considered private, confidential, and/or proprietary. Please respect the Total PET staff and their workspace by obtaining permission before entering offices or using equipment such as company computers. Quality and safety assurance. Total PET and its staff are dedicated to providing high-quality, effective products that meet both internal and external standards. It is important that our guests observe the following rules while visiting Total PET's facilities. Smoking is prohibited in all buildings comprising Total PET's corporate office and operating facilities. No food, gum, or drinks are allowed in the warehouse, manufacturing and packaging areas, or laboratories. Please do not touch any products, equipment, machinery, or tools unless authorized to do so by the host. Protection equipment for your safety and the safety of the consumers of our product must be used as directed by your host. No shorts. Skirts or dresses must come below the knee. No sleeveless shirts. If you are wearing an open-toe shoes, please notify your host. All visitors should remain with their designated host at all times. In the case of an emergency, remain calm and follow the instructions of your host. Please enjoy your visit.
Hey, I appreciate it afterwards. Sometimes you're able to sign the papers and hand them back to me. Yeah, so we're gonna be thank you. This is one person from Obion, right? Yes. Oh my, here? Where?
Guatemala, appendicitis, shit or appendix out. Really going.
Oh, it was appendicitis, not peritonitis.
No, it was very
It was peritonitis.
Yeah,
Is she from Guatemala or
no.
from Switzerland?
Kyrgyzstan.
Oh,
Pretty excited.
Yeah, I know, I have a passport.
okay, so we will move ahead then, and I will share with you what we're going to see in the actual facility, because I want you to understand very quickly the process that we use to go from resin, either virgin PET or rPET, making a preform, and then making a bottle. I don't know if some of you are familiar with the process. Everything starts here in an injection system. We're going to see 2 lines of this and 1 test line. What it does is, it takes the resin, dries it, and melts it in part of in a large drum that you're going to see above the machine. The resin is right there, and then we move it into the injection system where we make the preform. And if you notice, a preform is something that has the thread perfectly formed and yes, I think it's gonna require that. No, it's not perfect, you know, it's YouTube. Actually, we share that with schools and several other people, so it's important. Okay, so you're gonna see how we made the preforms on the injection machine, and the other thing that you're gonna see is how. There you go. Okay, so the resin goes into a mold. A lot of preforms are made, depending on the machine, 56 or 96 per time in a 10-second cycle. The preform there is inspected and all the quality parameters are checked to regulate that we are doing perfect preforms.
Is this like a medical container? What is this for?
This is for this.
You blow it.
It's blown.
Ah, okay.
So basically, after we take this, and we take the preforms, then the preforms, they go in large boxes that go into the blowing machines. Here in this facility, we have small blowing machines that are very small. Actually, the ones that are used our customers are very large, 10 or 12 times larger than this. This technology was developed for emerging markets, so it's tiny productions. And what you're gonna see there is that we load the preforms into the machine, and then the preforms go upward the conveyor, where they are singularized, put in a single file because they come all scrambled, and with some parameters, with some particular parameters, each depending on which bottle we are manufacturing, the machine will start to feed the preforms, position them in the blowing pins, and then it will start to heat them. We use infrared energy to heat them. So they go inside an oven, you can call it an oven, and in that oven they acquire the right temperature that will enable us to later, inside a mold, blow them, okay? So that's how we do bottles. This process usually takes place inside the customer, so we are not moving empty bottles. To move empty bottles is very inefficient and very environmental, not good, we can say.
Where do you get your machines from?
Pardon me?
Where do you get your machines from?
Okay, we have machines from Italy, we have machines from Canada, we have machines from Taiwan, and this particular easy blow line that is showing here is from China. This particular machine was a development. We sent one of our engineers for some time to China, asked them to do certain things in a different way, and then we came with a machine that is good enough that we can send it to some small-scale customers. So we ship them the preforms. For example, this is what is in operation in California. In California, there are several of these machines, as well as larger machines. So we send this blown bottle to California, and it's blown there. Because to move the blown bottle will be very, very expensive and inefficient. So I think we're all clear. Let me introduce our team. I'm just the messenger. Please don't kill the messenger. The team is Mr. Noelia Vites. Noelia is in charge of all our logistics operation. Andrea Chacon in marketing and sales. Mr. Kenneth Ramirez in finance. Mrs. Laura Gutierrez in operations, okay? So I think we're ready. They're gonna help us to go through a plan. We will be in the plant, respecting your time, 10 minutes, and we will come back and finish the story with some basic understanding of what we do, okay? Okay. Please, let's go. Yeah.
No watches, please.
Yeah, no watches and rings. You can put them in.
I can't take up my
Yeah, plastic
Yeah,
melts
okay.
better.
If it's stuck.
It's stuck.
you want
If
to
it's
fail.
stuck,
Fail.
it's safe.
Make sure
Yours
that
failed.
Yeah, if you can't get it off, it's okay, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
If it's stuck, it's okay. Voy a ponerme español.
And
They're
no,
too
and no cell
dangerous.
phones and everything like that.
No, you can take them with them along,
Yeah.
as long as they're in your pocket.
So rings and
Money also can
Leave your
live
money.
it
Money,
here. and then
jewelry.
we don't-
We can't put it in our pockets, leave it here.
Firstborn children.
I can give you my second if you want.
Exactly. Troublemakers.
Claro.
Where did you buy your furniture? I'm curious.
This is from Peru, Atu, Peru. Yeah.
So they have a store here, or you bought?
No, well, they used to have, the guy who handled Steelcase at the very early beginning, he was looking for, you can say, more cost-effective alternative. So he went into his guys from Peru and they supplied. It's old, actually. Yeah, it's nice. It works very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
al PM, buenos días. Estamos ubicados en la zona franca metropolitana, en el barrial de Heredia. Sí, señor, en el barrial de Heredia. Pasando Pigma, sí, señor. ¿Conoce por dónde queda Pepsi? Sería como... Sí, señor, como unos que... como 600 metros, más o menos. Sí, señor. Con mucho gusto. Yes, sir. Está.
But then I went back to Canada for university and stuff. So my mother's Jamaican, my dad's Swiss.
Okay,
So now I live in
definitely,
Switzerland.
yeah, one of those Surahanese accents you can't.
Yeah.
It's
Canadian.
It is slightly, and I'm gonna say it.
That's convenient coming back from a tour.
There is a restroom, there's a bar. Yeah, no, it's good chocolate.
That's good chocolate.
Well, for the people from Swiss, I'm sorry, it's not good chocolate. It's regular chocolate.
Should we inspect? That's right. Looks good.
Yeah. Everybody has their rings, watches, everything. Yeah, nothing got lost down there. We don't want the customer returning to us.
Nobody wanted
They
my,
usually get very happy. Oh, a watch, but no, not in this case.
nobody wanted my Casio.
They don't really like it.
That's Costa Rica.
That has like more function. Than,
That's all Costa Rica good. That's really good.
Probably
That's for macadamia.
Is this coffee?
That's great.
Coffee.
That's the best thing you can take home.
GPS?
Yes, they have guayaba, one with filled with guayaba, and then it's a fruit. Wow.
And this is an checks the
You want to get back your things?
Yes, somebody take back the things. There's a restroom. I think we will start.
I do have Pepsi if you prefer, or coffee.
This is water. Have you seen this water? When you were coming in by the airport, probably?
I
No?
didn't see it.
Yeah, have you seen it? I know, yeah.
Nosotros somos los mayoritarios del teleférico del Bosque Glorioso. Ustedes venden,
No,
¿no?
no sabemos. Ah,
Eso,
okay.
eso tiene, that has been in the market for a week.
Yeah,
With the
this is a new
100%
development.
recycled.
The water has been in the market for a year, 2 years, but this is 100% recycled bottle that has been in the market. Actually, it was launched very,
Last week.
yeah, last week or something.
This is the local Pepsi bottle, or is this?
No, this is a different bottle, a bottler. This is not the Pepsi bottler, but it's a product from us as well. 100% RP.
In the labeling, so for example, if you're talking to Pepsi and they're gonna use RPET in their product, is it only gonna be the imprint, or are they using it in their marketing campaigns? It's gonna be more prominent in the label?
They will. The problem is that they cannot start until we are able to secure them the supply. Because as a brand owner, you cannot go into a market and say, hey, we're using our PT, we're 25%, and then we are out of supply. So that's why it's very important that we start local. We're waiting for one more person. I hope you like the sweets, and please, anything else we can do. Cafe?
Claro.
I hate coffee. I'm not into coffee. Who's into coffee?
I love
Roberto
coffee, so you can feel
Yeah.
free to have
1, 2, 3,
it. Yes, of
4.
course.
You know, when we started this company,
A
I told my
tea
people,
or a
coffee, tea,
Pepsi, Diet Pepsi.
cafe. Okay.
How many you have?
Cinco.
Yeah, fine.
5 cafecitos, porfa, Gaby.
So, one of my sayings was, we don't have any customer who does coffee, so we're not serving coffee until it came in one of our bottles. But then, you know, the production people start to complain. They say, we need coffee. Come on, Ernesto, it's 3 in the morning. He said, they run 24 hours. We really need coffee.
Drink Pepsi. That's what he said in the first.
I said, drink Pepsi, drink
That's what he
Pepsi.
said.
And then they say, no, we need coffee. And I say, okay, let's go for the coffee. And then we bring coffee into the coffee. But it's that's coffee. We started this company 10 years ago. As I mentioned, it was with with the smallest machine in the rack. That's how we started this company. So it has been a success story, I guess. We have been growing quite steadily. The first order that we had to start this company was 60,000 bottles. That's it, 60,000 bottles. And now 60,000 bottles is 60,000 parts is what we do in what, 1 hour? So I go briefly over the story now that you understand what is a bottle, how it's made, and you are familiar with our PET. So, do you care for a coffee or water is okay with you? You're fine with water? Okay. So, it comes in a very nice bottle, our bottle. So, I'm gonna share the story of why we started our PET. Okay, so it was 2006, by April, around April, and my oldest daughter, Melania, she came from school one day and said, Dad, you know, my favorite animal are the giraffes. And because of the bottles that you made, when my kids are grown up, they'll never see giraffes. What? Yeah. You're a giraffe killer. And that's the last thing you wanna be. Okay? So me and my wife, by the way, now that you didn't have any accidents in the facility, I'm gonna introduce myself formally. I'm Ernest Moreno. Okay? I forgot to tell you my name. My card is in there. And Laura is my wife. This is not a family company. We have several other partners, but she's the best operations manager probably in the business. And we were partners before being husband and wife. So that's just a quick caveat, so you have it clear. There, in case you see some strange glances and say, this guy. No, it's legal.
His manager's a little too close.
Yeah, it's legal. So, okay, our daughter Melania, all of a sudden I was the giraffe killer. I was supposed to be the good guy, you know, and then it was very bad. So we started speaking and saying, well, this is not possible. And by June, we have something very clear, that a non-giraffe killing bottle, a bottle that doesn't kill giraffes, was going to be more costly than the regular giraffe killing bottle. And that was a problem when you live in Central America. And all over the world, people are always looking for cheaper and cheaper and cheaper products. But there are some markets where people is willing at least to take the risk of trying something that perhaps will not be as cheap as, perhaps something that will be more expensive. And the closest market that we found that was able to take that commitment was California. That's why we went into California. We went into California and interviewed with 50 different customers, and the story was always the same. Look, we make regular PET bottles right now, but we are looking to develop a sustainable bottle. We don't know what it will be like. We don't have it yet, but we believe in that, and we will walk that. And 40 of the customers say no, and one particular one says, yes, okay, we are willing to buy your regular bottles now and start the development of what will be ecological friendly bottle for the future. So by November, we were able to ship our first containers of regular PET preforms to make bottles. And it was quite a challenge because at that time, this guy, Chameleon, didn't make their bottles. He buy their bottles from a large bottle producer. So we have to explain him how to bring in the machines, train the people. Actually, Laura is there because she was training the operators of the machine in the process, so they learn how to do bottles. And that's how we started in California. So by 2007, okay, we have committed to make a green bottle for this customer and for the rest of customers. Now it's time to work. We have been delivering the regular preforms, but we need to do something. And we start with tests with a degradable technology. It's T2W. In some markets you will see it probably. It's a compound that you put into the resin that hopefully will make the bottle biodegrade or degrade over time. But it didn't work quite well. There are several issues with this technology. And the other thing we tried was PLA, polylactic acid. It's similar to PET resin that is made from corn. We learned another thing here, 2008, is that when we put that into the market, a very mob-like guy from California suggested that we should meet. Okay, we should meet. We meet in a gas station behind you. He's the guy handling most of the collection in LA. He's an Armenian guy, very mob-like. This is not him, but close to one of his cousins. Okay? And he told us, you are contaminating our collection streams. What? Yes, because the bottles that you are doing, we cannot tell them apart from PET, and they don't mix well with PET. They're contaminated. You have a headache, you want a pill?
Yes. I would
Okay,
like-
we will
thank you.
solve that for you very, very quick. Anybody else with headaches?
Yo con un traje,
No?
me olvidé.
Twitch? No? Okay. You're very welcome. We will solve it. So we say, okay,
Sorry,
yes.
contaminated meaning what? You're mixing your
Yeah,
vocals with
meaning that a
derivative.
bottle that was made from a different resin was blended into the PET stream, thus rendering the PET stream unusable. They cannot use it. Not with the solutions that we were looking at the time, that was the degradable product and the PLA. We learned another thing at that time, that the customer is a liar. Because at the beginning, the end customer say, of course, for a green product, here we will be able to pay more. Not much more, but 5 cents per bottle will be no problem. But at the real time, they are willing to pay the same. They're not paying a premium in consumer products. This type of products, they're not willing to pay a premium. They will pay you the same thing. But they will prefer you. If they're paying the same thing, they will prefer the green thing than the regular thing. So our solution could not be more expensive than the regular PET. Then we meet, he was very good at that time, okay? In that year, he was very good, everybody was with him, and he said, okay, in this state, we're gonna recycle. That will be our main alternative. We're not gonna allow the degradable things. We're not gonna push PLA because we don't have compost facilities. We're gonna recycle. And he set the pace and he said, okay, we're gonna recycle. So we look through our recycle alternatives and say, okay, the only way we can do this is with RPET. Taking bottles that were used by the consumer, passing them through a process, and getting back to a resin that is as good as the new, and that is FDA approved for beverage. And why we choose RPET resin above all alternatives at that time is there where the economy and the environments cross, where we arrive with a very important thing. We learned that we were able to make RPET for almost 30% of the required energy to make virgin PET. This is total energy consumption through the life cycle, okay? So instead of taking, and we will see the process later, instead of taking oil out of the ground, refining it, and making virgin polyester, virgin PET, we are gonna use the waste bottles that we all discarded, purify them, recompose them, and arrive to our PET at a much lower energy usage. And this is from a life cycle study from Franklin and Associates that is very well renowned. The other thing we discovered is that our greenhouse gases on CO2 equivalents were less than half. So our carbon footprint, that was getting increasingly important for our consumers. Remember that Costa Rica is a country that commit to become carbon neutral by 2021. Okay, so this is an issue for our bottlers, for our customers, and we believe it will be an issue more and more and more. So on the resin side, we're able to have less than half the carbon footprint. And there's also good news, and you will say, why you cared about this in Costa Rica where there's water and water and water and water? But no, we have to care about it. 25% less water consumption. So from an environmental point of view, RPET was very clear that choice. Let's work from the economy, because they have to match. If they don't match, there's no business. For a country like Costa Rica that has decided not to produce oil, we have some oil accumulations, but the government has decided that they will not be exploded, they will remain there. So it means that we have to import all our chemicals like PET. So it saves currency for the country, which is something of importance. It generates formal employment, taking people that is used to work with the garbage. These are slum dwellers, This is not possible in Costa Rica. We have a law that doesn't allow people to go into the slums, which is very good and was a huge step. So we don't have this in Costa Rica, but we have people who used to collect metals and some other things that we will be able to give them a better job with safety, social security, but they are formally into the economy. And the other thing that we have is, for our customers, it doesn't depend on the oil price. It doesn't matter what are your position, but very few people that I've met says, no, oil is going down in the next 5 years. Oil is going to get very, very cheap. No, we know the usual ups and downs, but long term of oil, we believe is up. It's not going to go much lower than this. So that is why we decide the RP. Other thing that we do at that time is, okay, we are into our PET, and by January we start blending virgin resin with 20% RPET. And where did we get that RPET from? Because we didn't have the washing line and everything. We imported from Mexico, from the US, from Guatemala, from Bolivia, from wherever it was available, just to start to test. So in January, we were able to set up the process to use 20% RPET, 80% virgin resin. By June, everything was going smooth, and we were able to go 50% RPET. November, finally, we were able to go 100% RPET. Okay? With what was called at that time an industry first. This is Camillion, the bottler that we devoted to work, and according to our records, we were the first to do 100% RPET bottle in the market. Then other people came. We were almost ready to do a huge blast of this campaign and go very loud on this, when somebody asked a key question. You know, trash is a local business. Trash is a local business, and where are you getting your resin from? They asked our bottler in California. Well, we're importing it from Costa Rica. Okay?
Adelante.
Adelante. You missing something? Oh, the coffees. Okay, good. Yeah. Look at the faces they show. No kidding. Okay, so they ask a very, very tough question. Where are the bottles coming from?
You, right? No.
There and there.
Where's that Lucas sleeping?
¿Vos también querés café, no? Sí. Ok, falta uno más. Okay. Aquí y ahora otro para Roberto. Roberto, that we know him better from long time. He sold us a company. He was the, you were the seller and we were buying, right?
I was the seller side.
Yeah. Yeah.
You made some money off
It was a good deal.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, it was a good deal.
All of us did, right?
Yeah, I believe all of us
It was a
did.
good business.
Yeah, the seller was happy, we were happy.
Yes.
I believe everybody was happy.
Yes.
So, yeah, we know Roberto from long time. Yeah, when you started that.
Yeah.
Stick around. So, that's why we didn't keep pushing that. And we learned something else. Waste is a very local business. You have to do it locally. Actually, our ecosystem here is Central America. To go farther than Central America will raise some issues. Okay? If we don't handle it. ¿Quién? ¿Café?
¿Alguien quiere
Somebody else? Pepsi,
Diet
coffee,
Pepsi,
Diet
okay.
Pepsi?
Okay.
No?
Gracias.
I take the coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I take
I want,
It's good coffee.
I
It's
want-
good coffee.
Or is it more tea?
I want the Diet Pepsi, please. Can you give me a Diet Pepsi?
Ice?
No, it's okay, ice. Yeah, I like ice. Thank you.
Okay.
So, at that time, we were able to achieve 100%. It would be unfair to mention that we didn't have setbacks, because we did. We did. we send the bottles to this bottler, but that time Nevada Bottlers went bankrupt. That is a competitor that supplies Las Vegas hotels. So most of our bottles end up in Vegas because they were really nice. This is RPT, good. Actually, if you saw the Republican debate, the Republican debate in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, you will notice that the bottle that they were using was one of our bottles. Yeah, it's not good, but
Did you notice that?
yeah,
No,
you
you
use the picture. Yeah, this is,
No. You
Yeah.
have to mention that.
yeah, well, it's very complex. But we know them like they're babies, so you spot them from 1,000 feet away. And this is the bottle that they were using. It had a different label. So we learned something in Vegas. At that time, depending on how you process the resin, and at that time we're speaking years ago, we have to kill part of the yellowing of the resin because of contaminants that are not able to be removed on the waste streams because of poor collection. You get some yellowing of the resin. So in order to, you don't want your water to be yellow because it's like pee. We use a optical clarifier to make it more towards the blue, the actual color that you see around. And we learned something about the casinos. The air in the casinos is not regular air. It's air with a high content of oxygen, so it doesn't happen what happens here that everybody's sleepy because we have low oxygen in this room. So they pump oxygen into the air that you breathe, so you stay awake more hours and play more. Okay? So it's a special environment, high oxygen. And the other thing they do is, well, we learned it the hard way. Okay? And the other thing we learned is that the light that they use is not the same light that you usually see. So it's a light that you don't see it on the facility, on the sunlight, on the offices. It's a light that will enable you to go over longer spans of time without feeling, fatigue. You can say fatigue, but it's a different mood. Like being calm, and they put you in that mood. It's a different light with a different wavelength that went through our optical clarifier. So instead of the bottles, you see them and are like this, you say, yeah, it's a blue hue. But you take them out in the sun, and it's also a blue hue. And you go into the offices everywhere. In the purchase management office, the bottle looks blue. But when you take the bottle to the casino, you put it on the table, it is yellow. So we learned that. We have a huge reclaim there. Yeah, this is part of learning. It's the good thing of coming into this time of the business is that you don't have to endure that. And the problem there, well, of course there was money involved, but your faith. How didn't we think that was possible? So well, we have our setbacks. Not everything has been very smooth. Yeah, we learned 2010, March 1st, we have solved the color issue, and we were okay. So all 2010 and 2011, we have been delivering bottles that are 100% RPE. We have been
Preforms.
Yeah, preforms. Okay. We have been delivering them to California because all the volume that we can find is just enough for that customer. He cannot expand. We have a huge opportunity with Whole Foods, but was not able to take him. We haven't been able to supply Pepsi or Coke, and we took this water because we are getting closer and closer and closer to our starting point. But we cannot take more business because we don't have the capacity. So in October,
You cannot get enough.
we cannot get enough material. Yeah, capacity here is good. So we launched, in October, this was launched, 100% RPET. These people is very progressive, I guess. They're doing a good job, and you will see it around.
That's our local community.
They charge us $3.50 in hotel rooms.
Wow.
This brand.
Yeah, great.
Change the business. Bring the cashier.
No, I'm gonna rise the prices.
Yeah, price the price.
Thanks for the.
Percentage of the price, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so well, this October this year is our first local, it's our first local launch, and we are very happy with it. We have been postponing it and postponing it, but we are right now in a time when we couldn't postpone it no more, as you will see.
But this is not your brand.
Yeah, no,
No,
this is,
bottle.
yeah,
Okay.
this is our bottle, this is our brand, our PET.
Yeah,
yeah.
Rainforest is a different brand.
Yeah, Rainforest is a different, we don't bottle,
Okay, yeah, so you're not-
we don't bottle.
A question, so you were
Yes.
talking before you were sourcing your resin from all over the place. Now, where are you sourcing both of your resin?
From all over the place.
Still.
Yeah, still, because we don't have the process here, and that's what we're
So
gonna.
there's nothing, there's no collection in Costa Rica?
No, yeah,
Yes, it is.
of
But
course.
it's not enough, is?
No, yeah, there's enough, but we don't have the machines.
It's another kind of.
There's no capacity, and that's why you are here.
They collect.
So it's collected here, sent to where the machines are in
And it's
Mexico.
broken down
For
there.
testing, sometimes are collected in their process and sent here. And we will see how we structure this. The first thing that we need to do to solve this situation and be able to make a resin here, that's our goal. That is our short-term goal, and you will see why. The first thing we have to do, going back a few years, when we say, okay, our PET is the thing, we need to prepare the country to do it. So the first thing we worked with was legislation. That is the first part of this puzzle that had to be in place. So we set out to work on the legislation, and we were able to explain to very different people that there was a law that was needed for integral waste collection management, okay? This is so we don't end up in a situation like Mexico. You know, in Mexico there is a lot of PET but cannot be collected because there's not a particular law. So we set up to do a law. This law was luckily passed in June 2010. We were able to get the law in there. In case you don't know her, she's my middle, and she's the president, Laura, as well, signing the law that was given. And this law has some very important things that enables the business process to be successful. First, to establish special measures, we don't have to go back to Congress. Congress here is very complicated. So you don't want to have to go back to Congress to change parts of this law. So without going back to Congress, by working with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Environment, we can do the following things. We can create deposit and devolution systems, much like in some of your countries. You see, and we're very familiar with this in California. There's a deposit, a bottler's pay when you return the bottle. And that drives collection rates through the roof. This is something that we don't want, but it's an emergency parachute. It's our last measure. In case we have the facility and we are not collecting enough bottles, then close the, we shoot this. We don't want to do it. We think that is enough, the other efforts that we're doing. Before this, we can also do another thing that is very important. Part of the problem in Mexico is, since there's no law, and I was in Mexico giving a speech 3 weeks ago about this, how we were able to present this and move it through the government. Of course, our government is very small and able to move fast. And it's very green oriented because of the goal of becoming carbon neutral. They can prohibit or limit temporarily the export of waste when it has a value for the market. So we can go to the Ministry of Health and tell them there is not enough PET because it's being exported to China. Please close the border. And they will do. Because actually what happens is funny, and I was explaining to some authorities in Mexico, you are losing money. Somebody's making a lot of money, but you are losing money. See why? See?
What is PT? That's important.
PET is,
So that's why
yeah.
they take them to.
PET is the crunch bottles, the resin that the bottles are
No,
made.
why do you send them to China? Why do you use
Okay.
it there? So
Yeah.
they're not using our PET.
Why, okay, our PET is polyester. China is the largest garment producer in the world. And most of the bottles of the world end up in China to do staple fiber. Okay? That has been the
What is
most
staple fiber?
common use.
Fiber.
Pardon me?
Staple fiber?
Yeah, fiber, polyester fiber,
Yeah, okay.
like in some
Fiber.
shirts.
Okay.
Yeah, fiber. This is
Carpets
polyester.
and everything, whatever.
Pardon me?
Carpets?
Yeah, carpets,
Everything that-
sleeping bag fillers.
Your Patagonia
Yeah.
this is made out of.
Yeah, right. Take a look at your Patagonia. It's made from recycled.
Patagucci is
Yeah.
recycled.
So it's fiber. So, and that was the very simple use of polyester. Because you can turn it into fiber, you don't have to clean it that much. So it's like, it's the low-end product, but it's very well made. So we can limit, and the problem in Mexico is this: they collect all the things. The freight to China, from Mexico to China, is like $180 per 40-feet container, because they need to get the containers back in order to ship more things. So basically, they are giving it for free. You fill the containers with bottle, send them to China, and then in China they convert it into fiber and then send it back. And the problem is that this business was developed in Mexico several years ago, and it got also mob-like structures, organized crime structures. And the reason is very simple, and it's something we have to be very aware of, is cash. You're buying waste from somebody, you're moving cash, and you're moving massive amounts of cash. Okay? So we were able to incorporate into a law that we can close the border. Other thing we were able to incorporate is that we can open the borders. So in case in Nicaragua, for example, that is our next part, there's no local processing capacity because of the market size. We can import the crushed bottles into trucks that are covered with a tarp. Okay, they come into the country. They came with marchamos. They came locked, okay, with a sticker. They came inside our facility and are open there. And we have no problem with that. That is granted in the law as well. And the other thing that is granted in the law is that local governments are required to collect, separate the valuable material from the organics.
Yeah, the municipalities, you see in the land where we are located, the hotel is located, the municipality is basically, everybody has to have a free, collection.
It's like the county, yeah, the
They're
county.
the owners of the.
We have two categories right now, because that's the way we design the process to start. Valuables and non-valuables. And they're gonna mix it that way. So when they come by your house, and actually it's working in some of the counties right now. They came and picked your valuables and your regular waste, it can be gone. Okay? The other part that was very important for us is, let's say, okay, we're walking toward our goal, we have the legislation. The other thing that we need to have solved is the market. And we have made huge advances on this. We're currently with that small amount of resin that we have available, not because we cannot, well, because we cannot produce it because we don't have the machines, but with what is available in the market, because not everybody is. See, our PET consumption is growing very, very strong. So they open a new facility, they have capacity for us, and then they say, okay, no, we don't have anymore. But we have been consistently moving like 80 million bottles per year of these brands. You see some premium brands that are made in the Californian, and of course, our first local edition, that is Rainforest.
All of them are 100%.
Yeah, all of them. The name of Marcus as well, that is named Marcus. Yeah, some of you.
So one question. So
Yeah.
they don't want to pay premium for a little bit of premium?
Well, in the case of Nemo Marcos,
Ah,
they
okay,
pay.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that
Better charge it.
Is that AT&T?
Well, yeah, this is another thing that has been very successful. For example, with Google. Google bottle will be out this January, I guess. Okay? So it's not out in the market, but it's for their local brand building. Okay, we are doing something good, so we are using our bottles. And we have been able to establish close processing loops. So bottles discarded here are returned and can be converted again. So that's nice.
Is there a limit to how many times you can read?
No, and I will tell you why a little later when we go into that technology. And the other okay, those were the brands, the final, the end consumer product. The other thing that we are seeing is, okay, if we're going to Costa Rica, as I mentioned, Coke and Pepsi are both customers. So Coke, what they tell us is, look Ernesto, you need to give me between 3.1 to 4.8 kilotons per year. That's thousands of tons. Pepsi, they say, okay, I'm be happy with 1.2 to 2.2 kilotons per year. That's what I will need to move for the region. And we as Total PT, with the business that we have at hand and the customers that we have developing, we will be able to move 3.6 to 7 kilotons per year. The capacity that we are building, the facility that we are building is 7 kiloton per year. So there's going to be a struggle, of course, between, okay, this is more than 7, okay? The lowest end of the consumption range is more than 7. So we're going to make some compromises. So what you're going to see is that Pepsi will launch on the 7-Up and on some brands, and not on others at the start, where they are going to use 10% instead of the 15%. But there is a consumption market very clear that is in the region right now. Okay? So now that we have solved the market, there's the technology issue. Okay? How we do this is very complex. To get from a waste bottle, that you know what's the history of that bottle, into an FDA approved product, or a Coke or a Pepsi approved product, it's a very complex process. There are 4 different technologies in the world. I'm going to bring an oxygen tank, you know. This is the run out of oxygen. There's 4 different technologies in the world that are able to do this. One is URC, but that is very large for the markets that we are serving. That is good in North Carolina, URC facility from Coke. There's another technology called Beulah that is very good in large markets like Mexico, okay? That worked well. But for our production range and the quality that we need, Starlinger and Negrema are the technologies that we go with, and they are both from Austria. Anybody from Austria here? Oh, you're the winner. Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like the KTM motorcycles as well. So yeah, and it's funny. The place where this technology was developed and is in Austria, and they are very close together, and they are the world leaders in this technology. Okay, the washing line is a different story. The best companies to build wash lines are from Italy.
Yay!
Okay, good.
They're paying the bonds now.
Yeah, they are the best washing lines. So the line that we are building will be, we're on a finishing struggle here. We will decide soon, actually in November, which way we will go. And for the washing line is an Italian line. We have to contend. We will see. So that is on the technology side. We are using proved technologies. We're not experimenting with something. No, it has been done in the past. It has been approved by Coke, by Pepsi, by the FDA, and there are several facilities in the world running this. So there's no technology risk. We're close to finish. Very, very close. On the collection side, answering your question, currently in Costa Rica, 3.6 kilotons of PET is being collected per year. Remember that our facility, we were looking for 7, okay? So without any particular effort right now, the country is producing 3.6 that went into China. Everything is exported to China. This is 2009 figures.
Do the Chinese pay more than you?
No. No, but I cannot pay right now. For example, the Chinese currently pay, their average is $250 per ton. our starting price is $500 per ton. And the starting price of us has nothing to do with what the Chinese are paying, but it's the fair price that we need for our collectors to grow. And this is an important.
How much is the virgin now?
I know, that is what you pay for a crushed
For the
bottle.
waste.
Okay.
The virgin is 2,000 right now. Well, so this is collection in 2009. How we intend to buy, you can never say, oh, well, I'm gonna buy everything. No, we start with, this is our buying curve, but we're gonna purchase per month. So starting month 1, we'll be able to buy 125 tons. And then the next month, we're gonna buy more. And because we haven't started to process, we don't have our process capabilities, which will be ready in month 9. By month 9, we'll have like 1,700 tons when the line starts. So when the line starts, we start to convert them. And at the same time, local collection or local purchase is rising and rising. So we achieve equilibrium at the month 18 with a close to 1 month consumption inventory.
But don't you see your capacity twice of what's being recycled?
Yep. Our capacity is twice of what is being sent to recycle. Our capacity is 7,000 tons. And currently what is being sent to China is 3.6 tons.
But there's more. I'm just saying, that's not all the
That's
capacity.
10%.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
10% of
10 to 15% collection rate, what is in the market. So that is, because it's very important. If you think that you're going to start to purchase when you have the facility, then you're bad. And several efforts have to be in place for this to happen. And these efforts are, this might come familiar to you.
Yes.
Now we're involving you, good. Because I didn't know you were from Austria, but from
Well,
what they.
I work for the Swiss.
You work for
Okay.
Swiss.
We have good relationships with OEEB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, and good friends
So do
over
we.
there. Yeah? Good. So, we started with this is the German Cooperation Agency. We met 3 years ago, and I say, Gunther is what's the head here? I say, Gunther, I need your help here, because the following happens. Well, we're starting the facility. We need to incentivize collection. Collection is very informal now. We need to do something. And he said, okay, I know some people called aliarse, that they are specialized in public-private partnerships. And well, we say, we have to do a public-private partnership to really boost this. And we met and we talked for over a year, 8 months, 9 months, and say, okay, well, we are not strong enough. We as total PET. Because we're going to collect a lot of things that we cannot process because we're going to process PET. And we built, hey, 1 second. There you go. And we were able to structure an alliance. And you're going to see in your card something like this that you take with you, and we made an alliance. And this alliance is very important because, well, the 3 of us start working, and you have the PET converter that we're going to take care of all plastics. You have Vical, that is the glass, big one. And we have the cardboard people, that is in Pakistan. Okay? So you have 3 basic converters of material. And you have 2 more companies, Coca-Cola and the Pepsi company. Because they are customer of us, we can't leave them alone, so bring it into a group. And then you have the GIC Aliarse, the CI, this is Competitive and Environment Program, and the Ministry of Health. And of course, something that we cannot pass is IFAM. This is the local government union. Okay? So all the local governments that are in charge of collecting the garbage are here and are within the alliance. So we can boost the, okay, so we can boost. For example, things that we are doing through the alliance, this is a press release that was released earlier, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And starting November 7, this last Monday, we have started to train and to retrain 65 collection centers throughout the country, so they can increase the quality of the material they have. They understand how we need the material, and the other thing that they are understanding is how to be more efficient and collect more. Okay, because with these centers, you find some things that are fairly organized. This is San Rafael de Heredia, that is nearby, that is large. But this is Gandoca, that is a beach near Guanacaste. So it's two different realities. We need them to train, we need them to get into the formal economy, and that's why we are working with the Banco Nacional de Costa Rica. They have a development part. So we can go and say, okay, I'm going to sign a contract with you to buy your material. And with that contract, they can lend them money to put a baling device, working capital. We don't do that, but we say, hey, we're buying the material. That is a good repayment. And we are now buying the material at a fair, constant price, because the other thing we're teaching people is how to collect properly. And we have a how to design for recycle guideline, because it's very important that our customers understand how should they design the bottles for recycle. And Coke approved this, was very good. Pepsi approved everything, but it's not complaining. It's not. No, it's not complaining. No, it's not
Complying?
Yeah, complying. Thank you. It's not complying, and they promise that when we are collecting ready, they will start complying. Okay, but Coke is already in. And the other thing that we have is, okay, this is our goal. We have covered the legislation, the market, the technology, and the collection. There is a missing part for that goal. But let me share what that goal is right now, so you have it very clear. By September 12, we will have a 7 kiloton per year facility that enable us to go from scrap bottles to virgin resin. And this is how the whole process works. And I need this to start so you left with the idea of what we're setting up. Oops, I'm sorry. The music won't allow me. Okay? No, this is just music. Okay. Our process starts we have two potential sites. One is in San Ramon that way, and the other one is in Tres Rios. It's very easy. We receive the trucks with bottles inside. We weigh them to see what we need to pay. So we weigh it on the way in, weigh it on the way out. And what we receive is bale bottles. Bottles that came in bales of several different colors. Some collection centers have separation capacities, so they are sending just green or just clear bottles, but we will receive a lot of mixed bottles, okay? So the first part of the process will be to break those bales of bottles, singularize the bottles, and go through a positive selection system. It means that from this waste stream, we will pick, like the operators are picking right there, what we are going to process. So they are picking their clear PET bottles and leaving the rest to go through, and it will be reprocessed again, okay, to get the green out or to get. Then what happens is that those bottles went through a friction washing system, and that friction washing removes most of the labels and some of the caps. And then there's a metal detector that works along with the operators, trying to remove whatever is left that can be a contaminant or a different color bottle. For example, let's say that there is a bottle that in that batch is not supposed to be, like a brown bottle for beer or medicine. They remove it, take it away. So we go with the just clear PET bottles into a process where they are hot washed, grinded, and washed again. So we have clear flakes at the end of the process. Just like this, you can. That is ground bottles, basically. But the problem here is you have been able to remove, this is ground bottles, this is what you see. Ground bottles. The problem is You have washed them, but you cannot be sure that everything in there is pure. So you go to a high-speed system. Here's a slowdown of that, where all the flakes, each and every one of the flakes, goes to a sensor that checks their color and checks their composition, and if they are not what you're processing, it gets discarded. You see that? We're going to see it from below that it shows, but it's doing that for each and every one of the flakes, and it's discarding what is not compliant. Okay? You see a lot of discard in this particular video because how you test these machines is with a heavy load. Actually, this is discarding like 3%, something like that. But before that, you are 99%. So you see, when there's something colored, it just got blown away from the stream. Then you have what is 99.999% PET. Okay, that are those flakes that you see there. These flakes are before the process. And these are the contaminants that are flakes that got deteriorated. They are stocked in jumbo bags to go into the next process. And the next process is a high vacuum reactor, similar to the dryers that we have in the machine, where you put the resin and you heat the resin so it starts any particular contaminant that it was on the resin, like flavor from what it contained, or dirt is already removed. Gasoline, if somebody put gasoline into a bottle, if somebody urinated into a bottle and you have urine, everything there is extracted. Pardon? Yeah. Yeah, it is extracted. Any chemical in there, contamination is extracted. And what happens there is, in these sensors and filters, it's being constantly filtered until there is no traces of any chemical found for 2 hours. So if for 2 hours, no chemicals have been found, whatever is in there is going to stay there. So it's FDA approved. It's food safe. We can use it again. But we're not ready to use it again. We need, when you process the resin to make a bottle, what happens is, hey, 1 second. I don't want to pause because I'm afraid. Okay, but what happens, I'm sorry. What happens when you process the polymer, and this is how many times you can reuse the bottle. What happens when you process the polymer, you have a lot of strings of a certain length that in the virgin resin are 0.80. Around that, actually value is from 0.75 to 0.85. Okay? That is the length of the chains. When you process the resin to make a bottle the first time, you broke some of these chains. So you have chains that are smaller, and your viscosity, this value, is decreased to 0.78. So the polymer is degraded. So if you just keep reusing and reusing and reusing and reusing this, you will arrive to a point where the polymer chains are, and that is no good. That is why most of the plastics have been downcycled, used for different things that are less demanding time and time and time and time and time. What this process does, and is a characteristic of PET, is that it can self-polymerize again. If you give him a proper environment with nitrogen and a good temperature, those chains in the polymer, when you give them heat, they can move and they will attach again. So you're increasing the viscosity and going back to what can be better than what you have at the beginning. Actually, if you started this reactor that we are buying, you can go from 0.76 back to 0.84. You can go up for it. That's how you regenerate the resin. Okay?
Does that make it more brittle, or what does it do when it?
Basically, what it will happen is you take those chains, and when you are doing the bottle, what you are doing is like a mesh of these chains, so that the CO2 and the water vapor doesn't stay. When the chains are shorter, your mesh is not as good, so it will start to lose water more quickly, to allow the ingress of oxygen more quick. will you feel it? You won't feel it because it won't be able to go into a market. We could not blow it. When we blow it, the change won't be long enough to stay, and the bottle will burst, and you will have holes. And that is what we do. So the other part that this process does is increase the IB. This is called IB, intrinsic viscosity. And then the final step of this is, now we have, just like virgin resin, but there can be tiny contaminants that we haven't removed. So we pass them through a micrometer filter. This is the Austrian technology, the part of the Austrian technology. And the melt resin is pushed through these filters, so any contaminants, it's a large filtering area that we will see now. Here's the resin, can have some pollutant, some contaminant. It's passed through these filters, so what we're receiving is perfect resin. Anything that was able to get through, or a PVC flake that got degraded and turned solid. And of course, we can back flush those filters to have a continuous process. And then we extrude it. This is spaghetti-like, that we are extruding the resin. And after that, it's cut into small spheres, like the ones that you have here. Okay? So that is what we are intending to do at this facility. We don't have it. This is what we're building, and we hope to have it running, and are almost sure to have it running by 2012 September. And that's how you go from the waste bottle to the new bottle.
Is there anyone else in Central America that's doing the bottle-to-bottle?
Yeah, there's one person in Guatemala took a fiber reactor and set it up to do a bottle-to-bottle. But it's they are up to capacity. They cannot. We supply from them from time to time, but their technology is not approved by Coke. It's just FDA approved because it was not designed to do that. It's a polyester. They used to do towels. They came from. This facility that we're building has a triple bottom line that looks basically like this. Economical, well, it's good for the shareholders. It's a good business because we're here to do a business. But it's good for the country as well. It's saving like $10 million per year on currency that is not buying because we're using material that isn't here. Environmental, we are reducing like 10,000 tons of CO2 equivalents. We're saving the energy close to 11 million liters of gasoline. And in water, we're saving 1.7 million. And from a social perspective, this is very interesting for the local governments. We are reducing waste into the landfills, 21,400 cubic meters per year. That's, to get it into a head, it's like 3.6 thousand trucks of garbage that is not going into a landfill. And we are giving a formal and dignity opportunity, employment opportunity to 200 to 300 families. So that's another good thing. So that's the goal, short term, that we will have here in Costa Rica here. After that, we will be moving to Central America with different approaches. Honduras, the approach will be quite different. We believe Honduras is able to take a system just like that. Nicaragua, the situation is different because of the market penetration of PET. We will probably need to go to collect and move, but this is but it's beyond our goal right now. And very quick, when you see the picture, there's one missing part.
CoreCo?
Yeah, CoreCo. Oh yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. Okay, and we are missing the financial part. The financial part, it is very important for us the following, and this is what we have said as non-negotiable. We need somebody reputable. That's why I feel good with Roberto, because I know him a long time ago. And one of the very things about Roberto is the partners that are on the phone. That is people that we strongly believe shares our values. There is another thing that is not negotiable. I'm not partnering with somebody that doesn't share our values. Because it can be complex. A washing line this size can be a huge money laundering operation. So that is something that we cannot get involved with. So we need partners. We cannot take in the first partner that Roberto comes and say, hey, I got a pal here with a ton of money, it goes into it. We can't.
There's a lot of cash involved, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of cash involved, and we when we set up the law was set up to prevent this from happening, but we cannot allow a non-kosher partner into a business. So what is required right now? Roughly, I have shared with CoreCo, the people from Bermaster, Federico, have shared with CoreCo most of what is needed. So where we're seeing it now is we need equity close to 5 million. It can be from 3 to 5 million, it all depends. And we are valuing our current operation in 6 and something. So we are willing to give like 40 to 49% of the company for this money. This is all money that is staying on the company. Nobody is getting a penny out. Nobody. Everything is going to development. We need a mezzanine that is 3 to 5, depending on what's needed, and debt of 6.5.
The friends of Austria.
Yeah, the OEB is very interesting. So at the end, this can change, everything can change here, because some investors will say, no, we will put more equity, no, we will like more mezzanine, whatever. At the end, what we need to get this rolling is 14.5. Because we have a sizable investment here, but there is things to do that on that facility. And for this equity level and this kind of a scheme, what we remember that we have a commitment on our value, and commitment is, if I tell you here, the IRR will be 20 to 27, there's a commitment, will be that. Okay, it's not a happy figure. This is what we are looking for from this funds.
How much is selling right now, the company? $9 million?
This is right around.
Yeah, around that. So that is the money required. Exit strategies, I know you are not in the business forever. We are not as well. Actually, Laura and I were partners in several ventures before this. Even restaurants and several different things. Software included. Well, the first and most common way out for a fund out of this operation would be to sell to a bottle. I bring examples from what happened this year. Arca Continental just bought PetStar in Mexico. It wasn't the best of the transactions because of the problems in the Mexico, because Mexico doesn't have a legislation, so they are having a hard time. But they pay very nice. They pay 60 million for that, and it's a company like twice our size. Okay. And Arca Continental is a Mexican bottle, Coca-Cola.
IFC was involved.
Yeah, yeah. And at the end, this is the deal synopsis, but it's a current deal that was done this year.
So wait, let me just stop you right there. That deal where it says it was acquired from Promotora Ambiental.
Yep.
So one of our executive advisory committee members is the founder and primary owner of that, Alberto Garza.
Okay. Don't know that. Oh, yeah, we know that because he was introduced to us by a mutual friend from Stanford, and he was also with Álvaro Uribe, the son of Álvaro Uribe in Colombia, trying to start a firm. Okay, so they're out of it. They sold to Coke. And the other way Coke is working as well is this is Ecoplastics in the UK, and it has been. Now Coke has co-invested with them in an expansion of their capacity. So it can be the other way out probably in a few years. We believe that Coke or Pepsi, most likely Coke, will be able to try to buy out. So this is the easiest, I think this is the easiest way out. Perhaps not the best. The current stock market in Costa Rica is very tight. We have met with the stock exchange. We need to make some changes in the legislation to be able to, in 5 years, make an IPO in this company. But there are some things in the legislation that will need to be changed. But there is another way out. The other way out will be a management buyout. I think it will be very reasonable in 5 to 7 years, depending on when you want to get out. And there is a last one that will be very nice. If we are able to develop the co-op, the collection centers, these people that we are taking and are bringing it from informal to formal, and are able to assemble them into co-ops, we can sell part of the company or the company. So those are the basic exit strategies that you have. And
what's the potential for so looking at the exits where you're selling to someone else, before then to continue to aggregate and gain value as well as gain scale? Can you talk a little bit about is there a roll-up potential in the region for existing plants or collection centers or ways of getting that larger before you sell? And
yeah.
How does that framework look 3 to 5 years down the road?
Okay, yeah, we need the people, the legislators from Nicaragua were here 2 or 3 months ago. So they are going to copy the same legislation that we have.
I think Guatemala already launched. So
yeah.
If you read, there are some passages that are copy paste.
They are moving, and that is something that we have a strong relation with the GIC, so we have been trying to tell the GIC to move it through Central America. So you will see that all Central America will have this law in the future. But there are some other things that there are some.
So there's a consolidation play to be had among some of the smaller players before you would sell to potentially
yeah, and not only a consolidation but a development. I think we'll have to go into into Honduras, to El Salvador, to Nicaragua. Guatemala will be an acquisition most probably. We're buying some resin for them. They need an upgrade on their capacity, so we will need to. So there will be consolidation on that end.
And in Guatemala, they have to change
They need to change their technology. So it will be development in some countries. And the other thing is, TPtoLPSC is a very good processor. We innovate a lot. We develop interesting business for our customers. For example, we're working with a dairy company to develop a milk bottle that will be in the near future. So TPtoLPSC on their own is on a very heavy path of growth. So other than what we are expecting, remember that because of our commitment, what we tell you is what we are sure we can handle. But there are several different opportunities down the road that will require more and more and more. Most of them are confining to Central America. And this is, yeah, there's more growth potential than what is being expressed here. Any other questions?
So, John, question, you said it costs about $14 million to get it up and running. How much time do you think it takes to repay that?
To repay that?
Yeah. How much time do you think it takes to break even?
Well, let's see. Yeah, less than 3 years.
Okay.
Less than 3 years. It will. See, we're putting a lot of money to developing the thing. So we don't intend to share dividends, pay dividends in the future. So you will see an amount of cash that can be used either to pay very quick. That I don't know what are the time frames, but I honestly don't see anyone getting involved with this project for less than 5 years.
Also, depending on the financing package, if you have good terms and good long-term debt, there's no reason to repay that. As you build cash, it puts you into a stronger position to do the development or acquisition. And then you just, your equity returns take off.
Right.
It's all
And the IRR was an operation IRR, was an exit IRR, project IRR?
Yeah, that is projected, the 25, how we see it is exit, or if you wanna exit, we will be able to repay that. So we will.
Free cash flow to the shareholders.
So from the investment perspective.
Okay, so it's not a broke business, but it's a good business, and we're doing good. How many businesses have you involved that you are doing something that is good for you, those you love and the world around us? I think it's good. So, no, I don't know. I know you guys are going a long way. I don't wanna keep you more. It's 1:15. I don't know how was your schedule, but I'll be more than happy to take any other questions you have.
Just time for a couple questions if there are any.
No, I mean, I'm fine. We'll follow up obviously with the guys who are thinking more, but.
And there's Ernesto's email.
Yeah.
Yeah, there,
And we get
please.
the-
Highly accessible.
No, it's very interesting. I really appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. No, it was great to have you here. We basically, because we have a very clear understanding of this part, we need somebody that we have known and shared this. We cannot go with the first guy with money who passed. And your institution separately, they speak very good for themselves. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks to you for coming. So where are you heading now? Okay.
Right now, you're leaving?
We're gonna stop and have lunch and then.
Okay.
It'd be
Just
great
an
if
hour.
I leave this here, but then you take this
Just an
out.
hour.
Good, good.
Take a souvenir.
No.
This,
See?
If you have,
It's so it is
This company is running SAP,
Oh, yeah, what runs up?
which is
There's a lot to talk about, just an hour.
quite a.
Sí, te cuento con el de IFC, Santiago. Santiago, ¿qué sucede? Es muy pequeño para él. Y yo sé.
So once you get out where's it there?
Estamos en la, es lo que le decimos hoy en día, estamos en la adolescencia. La gente no tiene, primero no tenemos la plata para ser nosotros. Raúl y yo, no nacimos en una cuna de oro. Primero que tuvimos fueron $50,000, fue lo que hicimos aquí, mamás. Pero no tenemos recursos nosotros. Cuando vamos donde un banco nos dicen, no, es que es mucha plata. Cuando vamos donde un banco aquí local me dicen, mucha plata para mí. Cuando vamos donde un banco grande nos dicen, es muy pequeño. Nosotros tratamos con Invermaster la asesoría, porque también tenemos que seguir corriendo la operación.
You're very welcome.
That's a very good presentation.
Thank you.
I actually like the way the presentation was done.
Okay,
Uh,
that's
the-
press. That's called press. Give me one, so I'll give you mine. But it's okay, you can ask Vanessa that it's in the.
Oh, yes, I did have the.
You did fill the receipt.
Ah, sí, claro, por supuesto.
Él es uno de los advisors, ¿no?
Ah, sí, bueno, él es...
Some in-
Ellos
Yeah,
tuvieron...
November.
Sí,
Yeah.
sí,
Two companies combined?
ese es el problema, y te digo por qué. Porque nadie se preocupó de hacer la legislación.
But they, no,
So we switched to...
I love it.
the one who
Yeah.
doesn't, but they have
Ajá.
sent us some
Así
costume
explotar.
chocolates.
De hecho, para Venezuela, para Colombia, que nos han invitado, yo todavía no me siento por entrar solo en Colombia. Pero con el hijo, con el CIAS, es que yo veo
See, in there.
muchas oportunidades de
You can find
crecimiento aquí para adelante con los socios adecuados.
VRITC.
Oh,
There's
right
a
there,
store.
there's small
There's
packages,
a-
yeah. Whenever I come here, I.
Ah, por
Yeah,
supuesto.
they have the vanilla flavor with
Pero sí te digo, lo que le sonó muy
tropical fruit.
Okay,
Right.
That's my favorite.
problemático es cuando eso... Sorry, but what sound a little...
I'll probably take all the
to
flavors.
Santiago.
There's a
Santiago.
small
cookies.
Yeah, he was seeing it here.
It's 3 million of equity and 1.5 debt. If you did that in a single package, it would be phenomenal.
And where are you staying in Jaco?
He's not sure.
Where are you staying in Jaco?
No,
Having his final say.
Y when?
He likes to know.
The great thing about this is so assume you get through the build out and your operational, you're earning cash, definitely but consolidation play,
la experiencia de los escritorios.
and so you can see another plant getting erected in something in the next 36 to 48 months. And that's going to require an additional financing.
That was another thing I was telling you. Be sure that whoever we commit
Try the
to
onion.
is ready to,
Right.
because CoreCo will start to use it very quick. So as soon as we have the law in place, in order, we will go there. So the secret here is the law.
That's good to get that.
That's why I get my daughter personally to sign it.
Una pregunta técnica, porque yo veo hacia adentro, eso es lo que les decía.
Sí.
Yo siempre estoy hacia adentro y en esto se me proyecta.
I'm sorry, where's my key? Where's my key? Here.
¿Sabes que en el teleférico el ratio de mujeres a hombres es 100-0?
100-0, maravilloso.
De...
No, yo feliz, yo
Estoy muy
feliz.
contento porque yo estuve aquí cuando arrancamos y fuimos al revés.
¿Ah, sí?
Nos fue mal 2 veces y después viene aquí en los dances ya.
Las mujeres son fantásticas.
Sí.
Qué bonito.
Ahora, estamos rodeados y tú y yo sabemos, pero en serio,
No, sí.
para negocios en Centroamérica diría que casi como success strategy.
Ajá.
Tienes que
Sí,
tener
es importante el balance.
Cuesta.
El balance. Hay ciertos puestos que son muy...
Vamos, me hubiera encantado invitarlos a almorzar, pero veo que tienen planes ya, ¿verdad? Como que no...
If you want to take the free form,
Yeah, you can...
Okay, great, I'd love to actually.
okay?
Yeah.
That's a good sample.
So you can...
Fíjate que esto se ve muy bueno
Es
para
diferente.
píldoras o quieres gastar algo o algo así.
¿Sabes para qué lo usa
You
la
wanna
gente?
take one?
Para llevar el aderezo, para la casa,
No, no,
para
yo-
la oficina.
Ya, ¿tú quieres
A
una?
ver si no me dan problema en el avión.
No, yo vuelo con eso todo el tiempo, no te dan
Ningún
problema.
problema, es plástico. ¿no?
Es plástico,
No va a
es
poner
plástico.
problema.
¿Faltan más? No.
No, ya no lo llevamos. ¿Ya?
Si alguien más falta, tráeme. Somebody, no? Okay. Somebody in the bathroom, stop or... Yes. Yeah, there's... No, we're gonna stay here. Which is a good thing, you know, because you already know.
Sí, la lata que traen una máquina, por ejemplo, traen una muestra, no es una, y es una réplica. 5 veces, entonces cuando se hace el programa psicológico, una limpieza de autolimpieza de laboratorio una vez al mes. Sí, si no se volamos, o sea, en el momento que no puedes caminar, y la empresa tiene empieza a probar una cosa de muestras, sí.
Bueno, ahora que se viene a recoger. Y las que no están abiertas del rainforest de las guardas.
¿Qué es eso?
Esa es el agüita, esa agüita preciosa que usted ve ahí, y esa regenera, o regenera, no se mata.
Bien claro.
Eso es nuestro. Pero me guardo. Así no están abiertas.
¿A lógico?
Por favor.
Bueno, quítale todo. Oye, dígame una cosa. ¿Y esas comidas? ¿Esos panes?
Al sur parte, obviamente no esté mordido.
Bueno, provecho. Vamos.
Sola, sí, señora. Allá hay una rescatada. Y la que usted anda buscando que sea para guardar también.
Una, dos,
Se lo comieron. Y vean qué golosos, van a comer unos chocolates.
Ay, ¿cómo le encantan los chocolates?
Yo no lo soporto, pero es así como lo más tico que hay.
Ni tan tico.
Pues claro, eso aquí.
Esos pancitos.
No, esos. Repártalos y a ver qué. Recógeme todo el chocolate.
de lujo.
Ya puedo acomodar eso, ¿verdad?
Guárdenos algunas de estas, que no las botes todas. Aunque sean vacías.
Aunque sean vacías,
Sí.
señora.
Pero entonces, ¿en este año cuánto? María, ¿en este año cuánto? No,
Por favor, gracias a todo el mundo. Vea, esos son verdes, André, dejaron las cositas.
Gracias, Elenita.
Aquí están todos.
Llena. Hola, ya.
No, las vacías, es que las quiero porque al final sí necesito las
Sí, lo guardamos ahí,
Las aguas no, porque ahí no están ahí.
No, no, sí, sí,
¿Quieren?
ahí hay una
Mira.
llena.
Guardate porfa esto, estas son todas las son los visitor rules confidenciales y firmados por todos.
De esas no, de esas no.
¿Qué? Guardaron físicamente por un rato, se guardan por un tiempo.
Sácale, si tiene las hojas blancas, se las saca. Y se
Sí,
las
ellos
da
dejaron eso ahí para que lo recuperáramos.
todo esto.
Se llevaron lo que les pareció importante.
Esto me lo deja a mí.
Estoy incendiando para pagar. Es
Esto
que
va
quedó
aquí.
ahí.
Esa es.
Esos son míos.
Esos son suyos, ellos son suyos. Esos son los lapiceros. Estos son lapiceros.
Eso los pagaron. Los lapiceros. Los folios también y las hojas blancas que las
Sí,
usen.
señora.
Presente que no haya nada firmado.
Sí, pero dicen que no.
Eso no sean hojas en blanco.
Vamos a pagar. Pero realmente muchas gracias a todos porque qué trabajazo. Es un trabajazo.
lapiceros también, ¿verdad?
Sí, haga díaselos para que ella los tenga, para que le vaya dando a la gente de ahí de...
Madre, la compu, puta, se cortó de loco.
Pues esas agua ya las tira y...
Sí, señora.
La compu, madre. Si hubiera sido con la otra compu,
Que le digan
nos
a la
hubiéramos
gente de
tronado.
Rainforest que vas a ver a la gente del teleférico,
sí,
de Jacó y de...
que ellos son socios. Rainforest Aerial Tram.
Ah, es que ahí
para que
que decía el bucecillo.
Es que ellos son socios ya en eso, entonces. Bueno, ya, aquí se acabó la grabación. Adiós.